another Saturday night in the SEC. Tonight, Kentucky's stable of running backs looks to sprint past the Bulldogs and stay in the hunt for an SEC East title. Snell, touchdown Wildcats! Georgia hopes to get its offense back on track and extend its win streak in the series versus Kentucky to 7 games. Breaks another tackle. What a run by Nick Chubb! It's an SEC Saturday night.
You are looking live at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. Believe it or not, this Wildcat football team has put the basketball season on hold here in Bluegrass country. The Cats have won 3 SEC games in a row, and the East standings tonight tell a remarkable tale. Florida was beaten by Arkansas, so Kentucky is competing now for a trip to the championship game. Georgia, on the other hand, badly needs a victory just to stop the bleeding.
Tonight, become bowl eligible for the first time in the Mark Stoops era, and with that loss by Florida, you're right, they are right in the hunt for the SEC East.
Speaking of swagger, they're ready to bring him on. You mentioned it, but let's talk about the heart and soul of this Wildcat team, those running backs.
Yeah, they've got a new identity on offense. It's the Wildcat formation. It's a new wrinkle by offensive coordinator Eddie Grant, and it's looked really, really good. He's got some good running backs back there in the shotgun running this Wildcat. You start with Boom Williams. He's one of the fastest running backs in all of college football. He gets into the second level, he's gone. He's averaging 7.5 yards a carry right now. What about Benny Snell, the fantastic true freshman, 220 pounds, very physical runner between the tackles, leads the team with 8 rushing touchdowns right now, and they're running behind an offensive line that's played so well now in the last couple of weeks. In their 3-game win streak, they're rushing for an average of 299 yards a game. It's going to be a big challenge for Georgia to slow that down tonight.
Subject to Georgia. What's gone wrong with the Bulldogs?
They started 3-0. They've lost 4 of their last 5. I think the biggest issue the Bulldogs have had, inconsistency running the football on offense. The offensive line hasn't been great last couple weeks. They're not physical enough. They're not getting enough push up front. In their last game against Florida, they completely abandoned the run game, only ran it 15 times. That can't happen tonight. Tonight, the Bulldogs have to commit to the running game because the strength of their team is their running backs. Guys like Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, they're dynamic playmakers that get better the more you give them the football. So I think tonight, offensive coordinator Jim Chaney, he's got to dial up the run, keep giving these guys handoffs, get them involved early and often. Remember, Georgia's a 4-4 team right now, and if they want to become bowl eligible, they got to get back to doing what they do, running the ball, and it's got to start tonight.
Badette and Harmon, you saw back deep. Badette, wide receiver, number 13. Blankenship will kick it away. We begin one of the biggest games in Lexington, Kentucky in years. From the 3-yard line, out to the 25-yard line.
Kentucky quarterback Steven Johnson, he started his career at Grambling State, went to JUCO, and I've liked what I've seen from him on tape. He's got a quick release, throws a really good deep ball, also very athletic. You're going to see him in the zone read game tonight. He can scramble. He can avoid a negative play, turn it into a positive. The one thing I'd like to see from Steven Johnson tonight is more consistent accuracy. There have been times these last couple of weeks where he's missed wide open throws in the short to intermediate area. When those open throws present themselves tonight, he's got to make sure he hits them to keep this offense on schedule.
It's 3 yards here. Goes deep down, incomplete, and that was excellent coverage by Sanders, the safety coming over to make the play.
Yeah, really nice job closing on that by Sanders. They're trying to hit Jeff Badette on a little corner route, and a good start for this Georgia defense. Remember, the Georgia defense has not been the issue certainly in the second half of the season. Nice range by Dominic Sanders.
Punting has been an issue for both of these teams this year. Kinsey runs up to the 35-yard line and is hammered immediately. Behind Eason. Carry number 1. Chubb told the coaches this week that he's more comfortable the more he carries the ball in a game, with Josh Allen making that stop as a lead blocker. The Dogs hammer with Chubb for the first down, and he breaks inside the 40-yard line. So they feed him 3 consecutive times, and they wind up with good yardage. And now Michelle gives him a breather. There's the handoff to number 1, thrown for a loss. And that's Adrian Middleton, the defensive lineman of last week for Kentucky, making an impact early.
I think the biggers and outside linebackers, Denzel Ware and Josh Allen. The tackles have to be very good here on the road in a noisy environment.
3rd down. Four receivers split out. Quick throw to Isaiah McKenzie on the move. 15-10, end zone, touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie struck from that right slot. They got it to him in space, and he did the rest with his burst.
Yeah, Kentucky brought a blitz, and they actually dropped out their defensive end, Josh Allen, into coverage.
And here is Snell. The one wrinkle they haven't shown out of the Wildcat, they've shown that double reverse. Here they come with Bidette. The speedster got to the sideline and to the 37-yard line.
Every week that Eddie Grant's been calling these Wildcat plays, he's been adding a new wrinkle. You got the quarterback, Steven Johnson, in motion. You give him the jet. Now he flips it to Jeff Bidette on the reverse. They haven't shown that yet, but yet another creative way to use Jeff Bidette's speed. We saw him on a jet sweep earlier.
Johnson this time does hand off, and boom, with that speed, 15, 10, out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Aaron Davis saves the touchdown. Here comes the freshman, powering, pulling, touchdown Kentucky. His 9th touchdown of the season. Nick Chubb, who rushed for 56 yards in the opening quarter, is back in at tailback, and there's the play action from Eason. You knew it was coming, trying to take the top off, and there's a penalty and a great grab by Wims. Javon Wims with a great grab on the pass by Eason, and they do take the top off with play action. With a 51-yard reception, Eason now in the red zone. And they come back with Chubb trying to get outside on the left, and they surround him and throw him down for a loss of 4. There is Jordan Jones again, number 34.
Looks like he might have that right here.
4 receivers on this 3rd and 8. Eason gets time and hits McKenzie short of the first down. I'm not sure if he had turned right away and headed for the end zone, if he might have gotten the first down on that. We'll take a look at it again, Jets, as Ware makes the stop.
Yeah, you always want to get north-south, and obviously fast guys try to get outside as quick as they can where they think they have green grass. But check out number 35, Denzel Ware. He's the guy that makes the tackle. He plays defensive end and linebacker at 255 pounds, showing off his athleticism, tackling a much quicker receiver.
If he sits down, he might have had a first down on that catch. And when he dipped, that meant Kirby was going to elect to attempt the 25-yard field goal. And from a coaching standpoint, that is the smart thing to do. Put the points on the scoreboard. You would have preferred the touchdown, but he'll take a 10-7 lead here in the first quarter. And he is smoked back at the 17-yard line. by David Marshall, one of their very, very impressive freshmen.
Yeah, David Marshall's just going to scream in here. They're trying to block him with a pulling guard. The true freshman just way too explosive and quick coming out of his stance, and he's been a nice surprise for this Georgia defense early. Starting games as a true freshman. You don't see that very often in the SEC.
Johnson sprints out and throws it away. He was put on the run, and that was Lorenzo Carter in pursuit.
It was Lorenzo Carter on the play. He was kind of spying Stephen Johnson, the quarterback, just briefly, and as soon as Stephen Johnson got outside, Lorenzo Carter was there. They need him. He was kind of the guy that Georgia was expected to replace Leonard Floyd and Jordan Jenkins as the main pass rusher. Kind of got off to a slow start this year, but he's really come on here in the last couple games.
Isaiah McKenzie back to return this McKennis punt. They go after it a little bit. Loose ball. Kentucky falls on it. That was J.D. Harmon, number 11, who pounced on it.
And I'm not sure why Isaiah McKenzie didn't fair catch this. I'm not sure why he even tried to field it, with Harmon bearing down on him as fast as he was.
Second down and 4. They go to the Wildcat. Williams will stay in. There he comes, stepping to the left. Touchdown, Kentucky! Toss to Michelle. Cutbacks on it. And looks like he gained the first down on that burst as he came around the left side. So it's first down and 10. Swing pass to Michelle. Cuts back to daylight. And another good gain by Sony for 11 yards.
I like the game plan by Jim Chaney so far. Attack the inside runs with Nick Chubb. Attack the outside with Sony Michel.
Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, moving upstairs to the booth.
Yeah, Brent, we may have found out about that move pretty shortly before kickoff, but Kirby Smart told me this decision was made, a mutually agreeable decision between he and Jim Chaney early in the week. They just thought it was an opportunity for a different perspective for Chaney throughout his career. He's called plays from upstairs, downstairs. With a struggling offense, they thought, why not try something new?
So far, pretty good. Much better running game than a week ago against Florida in that annual game in Jacksonville. Play action's a beauty. And complete to the outside. And that was Isaac Nata, the freshman. First quarter timeout. Here Kentucky leads Georgia 14-10. This is Jacob Eason, Georgia's freshman quarterback, firing high and complete. That was intended for Ridley. Those of you who have been checking out Alabama, yes, it is Ridley's brother, younger brother. He's a freshman from Coconut Creek, Florida.
Getting close to that right about here.
Here's the 42-yard field goal attempt. Sails it through. We got a 1-point game. We've come to the half. Kentucky leads it by 1 point. Wow, what an afternoon in the SEC. Wait till you see the highlights. And let's go there now. Dari Noka, Booger McFarland, and Chris Doering. 7. Toss to Chubb. Spins free of a tackle. Fumble! Kentucky pounces on it. Wildcat football. One of those second effort fumbles when you're struggling to get an extra yard, and Nick Chubb coughed it up, and that's a defensive back, Chris Westry. 3 wide receivers to the left on this formation. Need to reach the 23-yard line for a first down. Stephen Johnson, JC transfer, will take the snap. They come with the running play, and Boone is stopped well short of the first down. And let's see if he goes for the field goal. They're trotting onto the field.
Yeah,
Field goal unit is coming out. 44-yard field goal attempt for Kentucky. He's already hit one 50-plus yarder this year from the right hash. Boom. And a penalty flag. If this is against Georgia, there would be a first down. Hang on.
Holding. Offense, number 87.
Instead,
It's a 10-yard penalty. We play fourth down.
that was Conrad. Coach not very happy about this. And this will make it much more difficult for McGinnis.
If he hadn't have held Malcolm Parrish on the outside, I think Parrish might have blocked that.
It.
Yeah, he had a great jump on that. And C.J. Conrad, you can't afford certainly that kind of penalty.
So McKenzie will go back to the Georgia 10-yard line, making sure they got the right number of players on the field. And here's Grant McInnes to punt it away. High, headed for the end zone, touchback. Nick Chubb thrown for a loss. There's that player again, Jordan Jones.
I think Mark Stoops has done a lot, made a lot of executive decisions to help save his job. And this defense, probably the biggest reason why they've won 5 of the last 6. They're just so much more sound.
Gonna give it to Michelle, but this is not gonna give him a first down. Out of bounds, that's Westry, the defensive back, and Georgia forced to punt.
I talked about Georgia's issues punting the ball this year, last in the SEC in net punting, and they're kicking off to a guy, Charles Walker, who's been dangerous this year returning.
Snell checks in with the Wildcat here on 2nd down and 10, and he'll carry it straight ahead. Big hole! And the freshman bolts to the 30-yard line.
They have so many different plays they can run out of this Wildcat package. Power, counter, zone, jet sweeps.
1st and 10. And Snell breaks a tackle and leaps. He's out of bounds right about the 1-yard line. It's being marked. What an electric freshman is Benny Snell.
And they missed a hold, I think, on this play, Brent. I think C.J. Conrad held on the outside. That's what allowed Benny Snell to get the edge. Nonetheless, Kentucky having success trying to attack outside when running this Wildcat.
They expect Snell to run, and he does. And he powers his way toward the goal line. No signal.
And Brent, on that time, I thought there was a false start penalty by Kentucky. I thought the right tackle, Kyle Meadows, went early. See right there? He's already out of his stance before Toth snaps the ball. I thought this referee crew missed a holding penalty earlier. But there was just a little bit of a flinch right before the snap.
Touchdown.
Breaks to daylight.
Another example, Brent, of Georgia having success up the middle. They get a good double team block. Lamont Gaillard. Right.
Basically the same pattern, but this time it is complete to Reggie Davis working across, and that's J.D. Harmon, who has been J.D. on the spot for the Wildcats all night long.
This is kind of no man's land if you're Kirby Smart, because it's going to be a real long field goal if he decides to do that. It looks like he's going to want to go for this. The holder.
Got the Clark Kent look working from the right hash. Curling and good. A 49-yard field goal by Blankenship. So Kirby Smart shows you why you kick field goals. And now it's a 5-point difference. Hibbett, the injured umpire, back on the field. He was there on the right of your screen. Johnson, and there's a penalty flag falling on.
Oh, the ball came out, Brent.
Just come out. Toth is there. So John Toth was on it. Let me check myself. That was a football coming free, and it was not a flag.
Julian Rochester, the true freshman defensive end, just ran right through the right tackle, Georgia Sapo Ajay, and right into Steven Johnson. I don't think Steven Johnson's arm was coming forward. That was a fumble.
And
Toth heads up play.
He's the senior center from Indianapolis, and he's a good one. But it'll make it 3rd and 19 for Kentucky. Johnson fires in underneath to Timmons, his 2nd catch of the night, and there's a penalty flag. Parrish made a quick stop on Timmons.
Personal foul, block below the waist, number 71. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
That's Stenberg.
Whenever you went back.
Okay.
You can't cut block going back towards your own end.
It is really good. One of the best in the country. Play action now. Eason fires, got a man wide open, and Nada breaks a tackle. There is that tight end of the future, folks. Down to the 26-yard line. He is going to be a dandy.
And here's a fantastic job this time by Jacob Eason, throwing with anticipation. Watch when he lets this ball go. Not his head's not turned around. That's a perfect example. Puts it right on the face mask of his roommate.
Just what you were looking for from him.
Mark Stoops is going to have to dial up some pressures, and some of these D linemen are going to have to win one-on-one, get in the backfield.
McKenzie's dangerous in the slot, and he's off to the right. 2nd down and 10. They'll run Michelle in that direction. Michelle to the 15, turns the corner, dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Georgia. What a run by Sony Michelle.
What an effort by Michelle on the speed, getting outside, running outside around the cornerback bait. He's able to stay in bounds and extend the football to the pylon. The drive started with pass plays, and Sony Michel pays it off. And again, give Georgia offensive coordinator Jim Chaney credit because he stayed committed to the run. 65 plays, 38 runs.
They're going to go for 2. Leading it by 1. They figure 2 is basically dead money. So they're going to go for 2 points here. Chubb will be the running back. Eason to throw, and good. And that is Isaac Nada, who had the big catch to keep this drive going. And now that puts Georgia up by 3. Terrific management here by Georgia. So Mosier got injury telling. They give the youngster help, and a great grab by Baker, Dorian Baker.
6'3" with a huge catch radius. It just climbs the ladder over top of Malcolm Parrish.
3rd down and 2. Hit in the backfield. Breaks a tackle. Oh, mercy. What strength by the young man. I thought he was going to be thrown for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, it looked like Bellamy, number 17 for Georgia, was going to make this play in the backfield. But just great balance by the true freshman back. Low to the ground, keeps his shoulder pads level, and then leaps forward, understanding where that 1st down marker was. Simply remarkable. And again, Brent, look, not taking him out. He's back lined up in the Wildcat. He's not breathing heavy. I don't know how he does it.
Another 1st down. A remarkable effort here by number 26. 2:55 to go, trailing by 3. Lob, jump ball incomplete. And that was great play by Parrish against Baker.
Yeah, great coverage by Parrish on that play. He's 5 inches shorter. Steven Johnson looking for the fade jump ball. Parrish just kind of walls him out like a basketball player, but he's got his face turned to the football trying to locate it. There's the first real good stand by the Georgia defense in their own red zone.
So here's Austin McGinnis on for the tying effort. And we are deadlocked with 2:47 remaining. Meanwhile, Alabama still leads LSU 7-0, but Bama has rolled to the LSU 5-yard line. Another play action throw, and they've got the first down with Wims. Wims is emerging, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is, and it's been funny watching the play calling by Chaney, because after having so much success early in the game running the football, here in the second half, they've really opened it up, throwing it to the perimeter of the field. And you're right, Brent, it's been number 6 Wims. It's been on the receiving end of these targets for Meeson more often than not.
Good chip, warming up. Play action, firing back and hitting his favorite target again.
And Jacob Eason's proven that he can be clutch late in games throwing the football. He's earned the right, certainly, to throw it in this type of scenario to need to win this game.
At the Kentucky 46-yard line. Play action. Quick hit to Godwin. And they're picking up huge yards for their field goal kicker.
Well, and that's where it's nice to have Jacob Eason's cannon for an arm. This is a wide field hitch throw. There's a cornerback out there, Beatty. If that's not thrown on a rope, that's a pick 6. Not many quarterbacks in college football can even complete or attempt that throw. Chip on a field goal, so expect runs up the middle.
2nd down and 8. And Michelle does that, but he breaks a big tackle, and it is a first down across the 15-yard line.
Wow. Just nice balance on this drive. I've been impressed watching Sony Michel's, the power he's demonstrated. He's been able to break some tackles running between this Kentucky defensive line. Certainly we've seen his speed on the outside as well, and Mark Stoops wants his defense to be ripping at the football here.
Michelle crosses that 10-yard line.
And a really nice job by Michelle cutting north. Right when he got to the middle of the field, I think his initial instinct told him to keep running towards the sideline, but he knew he had to center the football for his kicker. A very, very mature play by the veteran junior running back in Sony Michel. A lot of football left, Brent. Even if Kentucky were to lose this game here today, that doesn't mean the SEC championship game is out by any stretch. Florida still 2 tough games left against South Carolina and LSU. But a big kick here for Georgia in their bowl hopes, no doubt.
This is for the ball game. Georgia wins it.
Flag.
And a flag is down, so hang on. They're trying to get the players back off the field.
I think it's going to be leaping on Kentucky.
Personal foul, number 11, leaping. That penalty is declined. Field goal is good. Game is over.
27-24. Georgia rallies in the second half. They score 11 points in the 4th quarter. They hold the Wildcats to 1 field goal, and a huge win for Kirby Smart, who had his offensive coordinator upstairs for the first time this season, Jim Chaney. Kirby is with Kaylee, so let's go to them now.